It's a cultural divide. I'ma get it on the flow. You really about to do it? 40 acres in the mule. This is bigger than the music.
After years of building up other countries, we are finally building up our country, standing up for our workers and fighting for our forgotten communities. The first and highest duty of government is to take care of its own citizens. African Americans built this nation through generations of blood, sweat, and tears. And you, like all of our citizens, are entitled to a government that puts your needs, your interests, and your families first.
Have you heard of the Moors? No? What if I told you that they are responsible for making Europe and America what they are today? Except they don't want you to know that. See, the Moors ruled most of the Iberian Peninsula for the 8th century, and they brought things like mathematics, sciences, architecture, agriculture, art, science, basically everything that we consider modern-day Europe. But that's supposed to be a secret. They are actually the ones that are responsible for bringing Europe out of the Dark Ages and into the Renaissance. But again, you're not supposed to know that. Meanwhile, while the Christian Europe had an illiteracy rate of 99% and 0 universities and 0 libraries, Moors, they had 17 universities in 7 cities and over 70 libraries. And then they introduced their education system to Europe. There was a man called Ziryab. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but he was a Moor, and he actually pioneered changing clothes based on the season. That's how dumb Europeans were at the time. They didn't even... What? He also invented deodorant, daily bathing, and invented toothpaste. Like, no wonder the Black Plague destroyed Europe. They were filthy. Ziryab also introduced a 3-course meal. Soup, main course, dessert. And the Moors, they even introduced crops that are still prominent in Spain today. Moorish cities also had streetlights, hospitals, and running water. And streetlights and paved streets weren't even introduced in London and Paris for another couple hundred years. Moors are also the ones that built the aqueducts that brought running water from the mountains down to the cities, which gave Europe running water. The father of modern surgery was also a Moor, named Al-Zawrawi. Don't know if I'm saying that right either, I'm sorry. He developed innovative and precise surgical equipment and the premier textbook of Western medical training. Oh, and I bet you thought that the Wright brothers were the ones that are responsible for inventing flight. Nope. Ibn Firnas, again, sorry if I pronounced it wrong, but he was the first one to actually attempt flight scientifically, and he was actually successful. The only thing he wasn't successful on was the landing. And those are just a few of the ways that the Moorish people completely changed Europe. But again, they don't want you to know that.
It's a cultural divide. I'ma get it on the flow. You really about to do it? 40 acres in the mule. This is bigger than the music.
Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us.
faster. That'll be the hour they knock the slick blaster. Dick dastardly, a Muttley with sick laughter. A gunfight and they come to cut the mix master. And living the true gods, giving y'all nothing but the lick like two broads. Got more lyrics than the church got ooh lords, and they hold the mic at your attention like two swords. Or you the one with two blades on it. Hey you, don't touch the mic like it's AIDS on it.
All right. Welcome once again to the beatzillapdx official show. I'm your host, beatzillapdx officially. This is the weekly wrap-up. And with this particular weekly wrap-up, this is going to be news break edition style. So we are on a tape delay, not live, but hopefully everybody is well. We are actually going through a weather situation here in my neck of the woods. So it's our first little bit of snow and ice. We're still good and covered. So everything has pretty much been shut down. So we're snowed or iced in, have been anyway for a majority of this day. So wanted to make sure, just in case anything happened, and since I had the time, since the city is shut down, we want to go ahead and get this to you now. I would have probably went live, but just made more sense just to do this on tape delay and give it to you all at the normal time, I guess, that we've kind of made a new time on Saturday. So wanted to go ahead and make sure we get something out to you because you haven't heard much from us this week. And so I wanted to make sure I tapped in with y'all. So with that, thank y'all for tuning in. Please like and share this broadcast. If you're watching on X, make sure you come on over to the beatzillapdx official YouTube channel and subscribe. And if you have not already done so, hit that notification bell, hit the word all. That way you'll be notified anytime this channel goes live or a video is uploaded or premieres. And if you would like to further support this channel, you can most definitely do so by way of joining this channel and becoming a member. And you can do that, of course, by hitting the join button and follow those instructions, and you will become a member. So thank y'all for being members already. So thank you. Peace, power, blessings, and protection be upon each and every one of you. And thank every one of you for tuning in this evening. They're not like us. They are not like FBA, and they are mad about it. I think in this present moment of, I guess, things that are being recognized on the cultural side of things, you can kind of say we are witnessing people's fallout, I guess, or the fallout from it. So it's clearly been a cultural divide. And I think with the Drake situation, it also shows a lot more because Drake has a certain fan base as well, which I now that we're able to kind of sit back and look at the situation, you do see a lot of immigrants. And so where a lot of this entitlement comes in at is coming from a lot of these some immigrant artists and communities and their sentiment that they have carried over. So we're going to talk about that. And we also going to talk about, of course, a little bit about them reintroducing HR 40, which I believe is just a tool of distraction a distraction by means of ways of also trying to maintain some sort of relevance. And then also we're going to talk about Doge and the money that they're uncovering that has been ridiculously spent. And it feeds right back into why we're talking about a lot of these and been talking about the Congressional Black Caucus. Also, something else that you guys probably have noticed too, on a side note. Remember, I always told you, and here recently told you, pay attention to the the conservative, the black conservative crowd, because they're going to start. I would say they're going to start coming out talking against foundational Black Americans. Of course, they're going to talk against reparations. But one of the things I perceive, and this is just from own experience from seeing these types, when you sell out your own, and when you're such a willful, buck dancing, head down, smiling coon, a lot of people that they deal with on the other end, the supremacists don't respect that. And I don't think a lot of people, they don't get that they don't respect it until it's too late. But those of us, who are able to be under the real understanding of what is true and what is not, we don't get those things confused. We don't get those things confused at all. So seeing a lot of these, also, you see the other two people on the screen, which is John Leguizamo and this other actor that's been in American film for quite some time. Always been, it looks like as he's gotten older in his old age, he's touched up his skin, or either that's a hell of a filter. But John Leguizamo and this guy, John Leguizamo is having some kind of fake, trying to have some kind of fake Hispanic crusade, rewriting Black history here in America. And then, of course, this other guy, he has a problem with the fact that Blackness was on display. And here's the thing, Black America, and that's how you know it's always Black American, and it's Black American specifically. You can't tie a tether to what is happening or these accomplishments. So you're going to hear the non-immigrant crowd start complaining. But why are they complaining? Because this group is getting attention that they, number one, are owed and due, but it also comes right at the end of them trying to rewrite the history of hip-hop to begin with. And that their party, which is full of Caribbean tethers, are being outed for not being us. At the same time, there's a lot of them that have double-dealed, and they most definitely have sold Black folks up the river. And now they're getting their finances looked at, and they don't like that much at all either. So, the interesting thing about all of this is this Doge thing, they're combing through it and finding money, and then they're finding money that, by the way, we were told, of course, were untrue statements. This was fake news and lies, but because there's a little bit of an interview, and I want to go back and look at that, because that's how they like to do. Oh, this is fake news, and it's not reality, and that's not the truth. Well, we will determine that here on this particular broadcast. So first, we're going to talk about this whole Doge situation and how this all went down. And something about this, man, any Black Democrat that is still telling themselves that we need to be worried about advocating for any other group, and we need to just do better, and sometimes it's just us. And let me be clear about that. That is also a message that comes from conservative Black circles as well. But let me be clear about to both all naysayers on that. That's just simply not true, because you are not taking in account the severe nature of the damage, and then also what else is going on and where all of this other taxpayer money is literally going to, while they're telling us, oh, well, stop talking about having your hand out. We're the only group that America owes, period. And these other people have now shown themselves to come in here, be defiant. We want to talk about people who are skirting the law. And they always talked about Donald Trump skirting the law, this and that and this and that and the other. Then they tried to push Kamala Harris on us. And this woman wasn't even she was old. Number one, she was a bad candidate. And then they had all of these people running. Now, I'm sure you guys have probably seen those interviews from the Lily lady. Like, she's telling y'all, I played her too, talking about Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden being able to sit in high-level, high-security meetings. None of that should be taking place. But they were letting that happen and telling Black America, which is the base, if we didn't know to vote for Joe Biden or Donald Trump, then we ain't Black. And let's not get nothing, but let's say that Black folks is jumping on Asians, and let's give them a hate crime bill. And, oh, LGBTQ, there's somebody's talking mean to them. Let's give them a hate crime bill. In the same time, for violent racial crimes, Black folks, top of the line of top of the class of victims. That's not a victimhood mentality when you are overly perpetuated victim by a system, and you can't say that a violent hate crime is that of a person's own doing. That is simply them being a victim. And so that tells you and speaks to a culture. We can't get into some Christ and Christian and the shield of faith in that conversation if you're not looking at reality. Because if anybody on a biblical end of that, if you were to take your Bible standards, you better start looking at that Old Testament, or you can look at the New Testament. And one of the things about the New Testament that should stick out to you is if you have the ability to draw swords at the sight of trouble, that means that you are consistently armed, meaning the disciples always were armed. So meaning they were always moving in defense, or the understanding of protection of themselves and their own, understanding the circumstances. So just saying, don't get out there and start rewriting or misinterpreting meanings of things. And so one of the misinterpreted meanings is of help, like FEMA. And FEMA is supposed to be helping the American public. We've had historic fire and historic hurricane and floods that were in areas that never flooded, like we had here in the Vanport or like Katrina. So you're having one time, once in a century type of destruction and disaster and natural disaster. And these people are sticking to the notion of let's worry about these illegals and not worry about the American public. And so what these people do, they tell us, the American voters. Now, remember, they was talking to Black folks all kind of crazy, especially from the FBA, you FBA, you stupid and dumb as hell. And then we don't know what we talking about. We're getting out here, oh, it's lying, it's fake news. Well, okay, then. One thing is funny. Here's one of the ladies that got fired from this FEMA, and just going back to how much money FEMA was dealing out and then couldn't get to the citizens is sickening. But let's hear from, and this is a clip, I guess, a recruitment clip of her recruiting people to her team. Check this out.
Hello, my name is Mary Comans, and I serve as FEMA's Chief Financial Officer. It's a pleasure to welcome you to the CFO organization. FEMA's mission is helping people before, during, and after disasters. And I'm excited that you've joined the team and are considering how to further enhance your skills and support the agency and the citizens we serve. Here in the CFO organization, we have 3 strategic priorities. Build an empowered, experienced, and engaged workforce, promote organizational alignment and collaboration, and mature the business processes across the agency. Our job is to ensure the best use of the resources entrusted to us, and every one of you has an important part in that job. I want to emphasize the importance of our mission and the part you play in it. We support our employees' growth and encourage our team to further enhance their skills. Whether it's joining the team in the National Response Coordination Center or being part of the best disaster cadre, our financial management cadre. Your subject matter expertise can be put to good use. At FEMA, every employee is an emergency manager. This allows our agency to be expeditionary. It affords our employees opportunities for personal and professional growth, as well as ensures that FEMA is ready to respond when the nation calls on us to deliver our mission. Simply put, we have to be prepared to deploy and support FEMA's mission, regardless of our role or our title. So be ready.
All right. Well, that seems on the level and legit, right? And I wanted to play all of that because I just wanted you to get a handle on how they initially sell these things. Because there are a lot of people out there that see the things that they'll put out in the media, because you'll have a government entity bring something out, and then the media starts talking favorably about it. Unfortunately, some of that 92% and that 77% fall on hang on every word that's being spoken, and so they just blindly believe everything that they're saying. However, now we're seeing the reality of this not being the case, and so I just want to go back again and play some audio from a CBS interview from a while ago, and let y'all just hear, this is what you were being told. So when we were telling you we're voting the couch because we understand what's happening right here, and people were not trying to hear the advice from the voices of new black media, we're telling you, you need to have a black agenda, and benign neglect is not going to cut it. We've had I heard Brother Phil Scott talking about the Great Vacation. And I can definitely agree with that sentiment, because we most definitely have stopped being your security guards, and we have refused to be your mules any longer. So if there's a conflict that you guys are having out there, then you can resolve that by yourselves. Because at the end of the day, everyone uses the plight and the historical context of our situation to apply to them when it doesn't. And then they try to make themselves the focal point of something and then ignore the foundation of it, which is foundational Black American freedom. And so let me play you this FEMA cat. And of course, they get the black guy to get out there and do the dirty work. Never miss that point, that the Democrats hung all of their black DAs that they had, they sicked like attack dogs on Donald Trump. None of them got pardons. Absolutely none of his the only black person that really of significance that he pardoned was Michael Byrd. Check this out.
Deputy Administrator Eric Hooks. Eric, thank you so much for joining us and helping us clear up some of these rumors. How are you this morning?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so just to jump right in, there is a lot of debate about whether or not FEMA has the money to help Americans right now and in this hurricane season. The Secretary of Homeland Security himself said that the agency doesn't have enough money to make it through the Atlantic hurricane season. Why is that the case, and how is that affecting the response to Helene?
Well, first of all, let me say that there is absolutely enough money for FEMA and the federal family to execute on the response and recovery for Hurricane Helene and the storms that are yet to come, Hurricane Milton, which is also in focus for us.
Well, we now know that wasn't true now, don't we? Because no. And then what did they have to admit? That they did not have enough money. So you just heard this guy come out and tell you that they had the money. He got right there on national TV, told you that they got the money and that they even got enough money for Milton. There's people still right now that's telling you that they didn't see no money. But this guy, they put this guy addressing false narratives about FEMA. Yes, let's continue to hear more of these false narratives.
Due to the nature of hurricanes being more complex and severe, they are very, very costly. Each year, we do have a number of hurricanes that cost us over $1 billion in response and relief efforts. And so that does lend itself to us working with the administration and Congress to receive more funds.
Really? You know, it would really make you wonder. Because they're telling you that, well, we need to go to Congress for more money. Well, then if that's the case, why would they need or still have on hand $59 million for illegals in New York City? Well, we need to hit Congress up for more money. They didn't go to Congress for this. Ain't that a coincidence? See, he up here talking about what you got to go to Congress for to get something for American citizens. In the meantime, oh, wow. And see, here's another little bit of politics and stuff they're putting out there. Now, somebody might say, well, I'm not sure if this is true or not. It may not be. You have to comb through those details and, they like to say things because, again, who really knows? Because when you control the media, you can have people coming out, well, those aren't proven or, we'll see. But this is saying Pakistan received $100 million in FEMA funds just last week. A career civil servant from FEMA illegally diverted $59 million from disaster relief to house illegal aliens in New York City. The city leases the Roosevelt Hotel from the Pakistani government, and thanks to the deal brokered by Senator Chuck Schumer, FEMA is footing the bill. Pakistan has already received $100 million of a total of $220 million committed by the city. So that's another thing. Also when you hear idiots like Jamal Bryant come out here and talk about boycotting Target and stupid crap like that over DEI, that of course has nothing to do with black folks because civil rights nor affirmative action in that regard was touched. But that's how they have to push it. But there's a little something that happens, and we're gonna play that a little later. But let him say a little more because we're already living the reality of his lie.
For hurricane relief.
Well, then why would Secretary Mayorkas say that you don't have enough money for the entire hurricane season?
We certainly have absolutely enough funding to address Hurricane Helene and Hurricane Milton. And again, we are seeing a longer hurricane season. And so we want to be prepared to meet the needs throughout the entire hurricane season or what may come. And so we work actively.
They did not meet the needs. And something else that I came across my news feed the other day is that since this new administration has taken over, they've already handled 80 cases from North Carolina alone, and they did that in like a week. That's just getting these people out the way. And now it's really starting to look like now we're seeing why they would be so upset about Doge, because it seems like there's a lot of money to be combed through, and some of these folks got some concerns. And just listen to what he's saying. There's a lot of money. Okay, let me back up. Remember when I told y'all about Kamala Harris's campaign? They blew through $1 billion. Since when does that not ever, the finances not get combed through? And since they showed you everything that they paid for, then that shows you that, oh, okay, this was nepotism and quid quo pro. So it was most definitely people and all of them other folks getting something for something. They weren't just blindly donating. They were making money on the back end. So again, all of this is really looking hella corrupt. And then add to injury, this video evidence of you knowing you're lying to the American public on TV for a candidate that they were still trying to get into office to continue these policies, by the way.
With Congress and the administration to obtain supplemental funding for hurricane relief and response.
You know, Eric, when people say things that are untrue, there's often a kernel of truth. And so I want to get you to clarify something regarding the FEMA money and whether it is going to immigrants who may have crossed the border illegally, as some Republicans, including President Trump, has claimed.
Okay. Now, here is the question of the hour. And this man says that he is right there. And this is what FEMA has and has done and will do. And he speaks that, you know, from his position as a top FEMA official. And the question is, can you address these rumors? And with everything, there's a shred of truth. And can you say anything to the people on out here and even the president that says this money and FEMA funds are going to illegals? Let's hear what his answer is going to be, ladies and gentlemen. Drum roll. Let's hear it.
Now, FEMA is part of the Department of Homeland Security, which does have a responsibility to handle border-related issues. Is that the same pot of money that you're dealing with, or is it two different streams?
Thank you for that question. I have spent decades in law enforcement right here in North Carolina. This is my home state. And so I want to express to our viewers that I know a lie when I see it. It is absolutely untruthful that any money has been diverted from the disaster relief fund and sent to the migrant program. The funding that goes to assist those migrants in that program is funding that is appropriated by Congress to the Customs and Border Patrol. And because FEMA has expertise in administering grants, we assist the department and the Border Patrol in administering those funds. They have absolutely nothing to do with the disaster relief fund.
Deputy Administrator, something.
That was a lot of tricky wordplay, but that's still a lie. That's still a lie. And that much we know. See how he tried to do that, though? That was a little slick. Yeah, that was, well, not really, but somewhat slick. But let's hear what the president had to say about it.
Because there's a massive fraud that's taken place. And then you have judges that are activists, and they sit there and they say, oh, as an example, $59 million going to a little small group in New York City. You get nothing going to North Carolina to help nothing. They say, we don't have any money because they've given it away on the border. But you have nothing. What they did to North Carolina is a shame. And then they sent $59 million to New York City for a hotel for a little bit of nothing. What they've done, a hotel that was not luxury, that's getting luxury rates for migrants, where they're making a fortune, and we catch them. But a judge says, well, even though it may be a fraud, you have to send the money in anyway. Send the money. I said, wait a minute. We have money that shouldn't go because we caught it before it was sent out, but they want the money to go anyway. And I think you're going to have a lot of things to look at, Pam. I really do. What's going on with this whole thing? And this is just one group.
See, I think there's some other issues they got. And when you start looking at how Joe Biden pardoned all of his family, there's a lot of people still hanging out in the wind now, isn't it? There's another video that I came across. And it has to do with these illegals in New York City. And couldn't help but notice. Let me get this.
Administrator at the Row Hotel. So in the hotel, we have close to 5,000 migrants. If anything involving this hotel, I was helping run it. Everything ranging from doctor's visits to medication is paid for the migrants.
Wow. Everything from housing to medicine to education is paid for. But there's more.
Anything you can possibly think of, it's being given to them. Car seats, cribs for newborns. There's, I want to say, at least 2 to 3 babies a week being born at this hotel.
Now that's incredible. Now that right there is incredible. See, and that's the reason for that birthright citizenship changing. Well, not necessarily changing, getting back to its original intent and really focus in on the people to whom it is supposed to help and continue on with the reconciliation to the only group that this country owes a debt to. So, very interesting.
The migrants being in those hotels have destroyed them.
Oh,
there's a lot of...
Look at that. That looks ridiculous. They tore that place apart.
Alcohol in these rooms. Housekeeping is there all week, and they'll clean it, and by the end of the night there's kids getting drunk together. There's people hooking up with each other. There's multiple guns in these rooms as well. The alarming thing is that this hotel is meant to be a family hotel.
You were actually showing me some text messages between a social worker about a drunk 10-year-old in this hotel. Can you talk to us about what happened there?
What are we talking about? And remember, see, this is my thing. Black Democrats, do you understand what you're seeing and hearing? All of this is better than legitimately doing something for you. You're 92% of this last Democratic outings support. 77% Black men, 92% Black women. And this, all it shows is that the people that you are giving that type of support to hate you and hate your community and see you and as a low value commodity. How is that? And more importantly, why do you think that you should allow that? Why is it okay? They can do all of this. They can find, there's no study needed. They just get the money and they get these things. These people aren't like going to no office and filling out paperwork for anything. They're being walked into a check. How does that make sense? And in the meantime, nope, you guys gotta pull yourself up by your bootstraps. And then hear all of these fake immigrant stories about, I came over here with $2 and I made it work and blah, blah. No, you didn't. And we're seeing the truth of the matter. And here's the reality of what's actually happened. A drunk 10-year-old. Oh, yeah, he's going to have a better life here. Certainly.
Yeah, it was a drunk 10-year-old who was caught with a 14 and a 12-year-old, and all three of them were intoxicated. And when we looked them up in the system, the parents had checked out 2 days ago.
So their parents just left them there?
Yeah, the parents will leave the kids on a...
Well, here's my theory on that. that they actually weren't parents in the first place? You understand what I'm saying? They weren't parents. They came here duping the system as they were seeking asylum as a family. They all get to America and get there, and then the so-called parents then checked out 2 days prior to you seeing these drunk kids in the hotel. So they just abandoned their children. Well, supposedly their children. This is what we're being told, but we've already heard of these types. They come in here as a family, and they're not a family at all. They may not even be from the same country, but they come here and it works because they all speak Spanish.
Attended in the hotel. We heard a security guard start yelling, there's a gun on site, there's a gun on site. It was probably an upset person that we had kicked out of the hotel. I myself had been assaulted. I've seen other people get assaulted. I've had threats saying, you know, we'll be waiting for you guys outside. There's been times where staff has had to be, you know, escorted to their cars, to their trains.
Because the migrants are threatening them.
Yeah. Often at times there was.
Remember, they also told us that wasn't happening either. Right? See, these are witnesses from accounts from people who were there. And all these times they all say, oh, well, this wasn't happening. Same thing with the animals. Notice how all those talking heads talking about, Trump says this and eating cats and dogs. And now on these busts, you'll find a lot of dead animal carcasses. So they had to back up off of that one because it's true. And then not only that, though, you still had people coming out telling you these people bring those ways here. So, yes, they probably are still doing it. And you can't tell nobody nothing. And then when you have, again, I want to stress to the Black Democrats, this is how they lie to you. If they know they got 92%, they just put things in the same medium that you need to hear. But that's where responsibility comes in at on your part of learning the full scope, not just what CNN or MSNBC could tell you. And their ratings have dropped. But it seems like I'm seeing some things from, like with all of this, you're sending money here, you're sending money there, you're having people speak up that you need Black faces or Black voices to speak up for these other agendas that have always been forced in our car. They've always been forced in our community, like, hey, our plight's like yours. And now we're seeing that party that you have believed you've had, like, oh, well, they're looking out for all the minorities. No, they're looking out for every other minority except for you. And here's the proof.
Migrants causing chaos with shoplifting.
Wow.
The one instant where I showed you that video, aside from being caught shoplifting, they started getting physical. And a lot of the times it was, go calm the migrant down, get him inside the hotel. I've been doing this for 5 years. And in my 5 years, this has been the worst experience by far. The city of New York does not know what they're doing, and it's only going to get worse from here.
I don't doubt that. Not at all. Very interesting, though, ain't it? And they can find money to go get them. That's crazy to me. Absolutely nuts. So, sticking with the fact that all of this money has went to help these illegals, I also wonder what else is their problem. Because, see, this is one of those things that, and I'm no Elon Musk fan or supporter. However, this Doge situation sure seems to be bothering a lot of folks. And I wonder, and I've always have, if it's about their dirt, like these politicians' dirt, because they haven't been vocal about much of anything when it concerns black folks. All of a sudden now we got a white supremacist in the White House and anti-blackness in this. You got Ayanna Pressley talking about anti-blackness. I think people are worried about what might be found, because obviously the folks who run the IRS weren't too concerned about combing through their books, but they know Elon Musk is. And so I made a little clip here, a little clip reel. And I'm not just going to play, because I figured I could have played all of these clips individually, but it just makes more sense to run them all together, because I find all of this very interesting. You can find money for these illegal immigrants, but here it is that now those can easily find, wait a minute, 56 million, 59 million. And then you're seeing all these other relationships that are making money off of these things. I just saw something else that said, this is an article that just came out a few hours ago, that there's a politician in New York City. No, he's not a politician. He's a head of a nonprofit. And he I think he took about $2.5 million to divert COVID relief funding. So, being on some crooked time, like a certain mayor from some certain place that has made the news recently, all of that money is just going somewhere. Not too many answers besides the mayor, but anyway, going back to this particular conversation, Doge is having issues having, I guess, pushback from the Congressional Black Caucus, starting with Maxine Waters. She really is not liking this or feeling this. Check her out.
It's a cultural divide. I'm going to get it on the flow. You really about to do it? 40 acres in the mule. This is bigger than the music.
This will be a congressional fight, a constitutional fight, a legal fight, and on days like this, a street fight. Yes, we will stand.
People of this country are being violated because all of our privacy is being taken up by Elon Musk and Trump, and we don't know what all they have on us. We don't know what all they have on us.
She's got to go get in her big black taxpayer-funded SUV.
Oh, yeah, that's what happens when you're a member of Congress.
That's what happens when you don't have transparency in the government. Why do you deserve a big black taxpayer-funded SUV? Is that why you're so against Doge? Is that what the problem is? What's up with the lack of transparency in your... What's the problem with transparency? Who the fuck are you? Why are you pushing? What is the problem with Doge? What is the problem with...
It's a cultural divide. I'm going to get it on the flow. You really about to do it? 40 acres in the mule. This is bigger than the music.
Congresswoman, what do you have to say about the fact that FEMA just spent $59 million housing illegal immigrants while people in Western North Carolina lived in tents for the past 4 months? What do you have to say about that? Do you accept that? Do you accept that? Do you accept the fact that because Doge exposed that today, it sounds like you have a big problem with the fact that Doge... I'm not blocking her. I'm not blocking. Excuse me. Are you okay with that? Do you condemn the fact that Doge exposed FEMA for sending $59 million to house illegal immigrants today?
Excuse me, sir.
Do you condone that?
Excuse me, sir.
I don't know who the
I don't know who. I tell you what. I don't know who you are. Let's go. You're in the way.
I'm not in the way.
You are in the way.
Okay, then get out of my way. Oh, what's that? What's that look? What's that look?
It's a cultural divide. I'm going to get it on the flow. You really about to do it? 40 acres in the mule. This is bigger than the music.
Ooh-wee. That look there, boy. If looks could kill. If looks could kill, boy, that man would be in trouble. Trouble. Oh, man. Let's see where I want to go. Oh, man. Oh, there it is. And so let's go back and finish off with some more Maxine Waters.
Wow. Look at this crowd. Elon Musk, where are you? Bring your ass over here so you can see who's here and what we're doing. We're not afraid of you. We know that you are the co-president now of the United States of America. But ladies and gentlemen, I want you to follow very closely what he's doing and how he has done as a consumer Financial Protection Bureau. What's so important prior to this being undermined. They didn't have any place to go. Why does Elon Musk want to get rid of all of this? Because he's a thief. He's a gangster. He brings his billionaire friends along with
No, he has not. And not only that, you've given our money out of the country. So here's one thing about that whole billionaire friends line. At least they're American. At least he's giving money in America. If you want to say billionaire friends, at least they have a business to offer in America. And it's not money going to frivolous, stupid things designated to another country that no one can prove that they're actually going to. I believe that is the problem and the issue that we're having, because all of these things that they keep saying are going to these random places that don't make any sense. What's that money really for? And when people have been talking about money laundering, this is starting to look like a money laundering hustle more and more by the day. I mean, really? I mean, here's another clip, and this is off of TikTok, but check this out.
Outside a migrant shelter here in New York City, you will not believe what we see. This is occurring right here. You can book a ticket to travel anywhere outside New York City. All you need to do, it says no need to wait in line. Just tell the front door staff you'd like to get a travel ticket. Reasons why you might want to leave is because you have friends, family, a job opportunity. It costs less to live somewhere. A better climate than New York City. So the way you could get out of here is bus, trains, flight, and a car service. All of this is being provided for people who illegally entered into America. All they need to do, you guys, is ask for a free plane ticket. You wonder why in all of these cities all across America there have been thousands of illegal immigrants come to their state? It's because sanctuary cities like this, they cannot take care of all of them, and so they are sending them everywhere, all over America. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different languages that are listed right here. 9 different languages from 9 different countries. A big, huge part of this, too, is it says required document. Well, for the domestic flights, you need a U.S. government issued photo. Okay, these people, none of them are U.S. citizens, but somehow they're getting this U.S. government issued photo. ID or foreign passports, and I've shown you what happens with the passports. They throw them away at the border. A lot of people come here with nothing, but somehow they're able to get on flights. You've seen them in your airport. Let me know your thoughts on this one.
Wow. Wow. That's all I can really say about that. Is wow. Man, these folks ain't got nothing to say to us about nothing. You understand me? All of that money going to these folks and you can't find money for us? Oh, no. We ain't finna let nobody do that to us. And, you know, things I believe are getting so bad now that, you know, you're starting to see a lot of the Democrats that were doing things. And I look at it as all of these people who have proudly contributed to benign neglect, and they were doing it willfully. It wasn't like it was an accident. You knew who you were ignoring. And then to hear the Lily lady who used to work for or be a Democrat and work for them, to hear that she basically called this last Biden's, she talking about Biden's term, that she called it Obama's third term. So just to put this in perspective, a lot of those agendas that they were pushing, that's still Obama. I mean, because you have a man who was clearly not cognitively together, but they'll make, you know, excuses. Again, let me go back to the point that I also want to keep reminding you about, is how 92% women, you black women, and the 77% of black men who voted for Kamala Harris, remember, these people lied to you. And I mean, I know you say, well, all of these other publications lie and all of they tell these stories or whatnot. Here is a story that I'm sure that they tell you, and you guys need to make sure you check their facts, because right now the Democrat ran media has a very bad problem with lying.
Elon Musk has apparently somehow convinced the United States government, specifically the United States Department of State, that the taxpayers of the United States of America should spend $400 million buying, quote, armored Tesla production units. Isn't it great, and definitely not at all illegal or profoundly corrupt? Definitely not ripping us all off to pay themselves, right?
Donald Trump didn't give that contract to Elon Musk. Joe Biden gave it to
him. See, and I'm sure there's people out there that be like, oh man, yeah, see, Rachel tell him, y'all. Rachel, and she's out there blatantly telling you something wrong. And I'm sure that probably wasn't retracted, because I know how I hear things out here and people just repeat them. And it's like I hear people, because I check in, you know, on the radio, they play Al Sharpton's Keeping It Real. They got the D.L. Hughley and Steve Harvey. Well, Steve Harvey will be talking about nothing, but that's what's so funny about Steve Harvey. He don't even be talking about politics on his show, but he always want to hop out when it's election time, try to tell black folks what to do, like he's some kind of Negro whisperer. But anyway, with Al Sharpton's show, I like to hear, I really like to hear his callers, because that tells you a lot of what that group of America is still thinking. I am starting to see a few callers on some of these black, typically shillish shows. I'm seeing some callers call in kind of challenging the norms. And I'm watching these black radio hosts kind of, you know, start to come unravel, because then they start cutting off their callers before the caller is able to make a point or finish their point. And I see that happening an awful lot. And the one thing about with the Democrats, especially black Democrats, listen to other black people and what they are experiencing. You can't sit up here and ignore your own people for a party. And so I'm saying that to say, you're going to have to decide, are you a Democrat or are you a foundational black American? Are you a black person? Are you about black people? Are you about black empowerment? Or are you only concerned about your Democratic Party? Because your Democratic Party is most definitely not concerned with you. They're concerned with other things, and then they'll turn around and tell you that somehow what the Democrat Party is experiencing has something to do with black people, and it'll affect black people negatively. So you guys gotta sit over here and get active and involved in this situation. We do not. We absolutely don't. And just for sake of conversation on this one, look at what's going on in New York with the like Kathy Hochul and all of these people. They're now getting the aim taken at them for spending all of their time doing the Democrats' dirty work by going after using the lawfare against Donald Trump, which is now clearly backfiring all of their faces because none of them got pardons. And they also, there's people quitting and fired. They want Eric Adams to leave, and the DOJ there's being leaned on to drop his case, and there's been 7 prosecutors to resign and protest, and they're protesting all into this stupid guise of the Democrats being slighted or something. People, that is a corporation. The Democrat corporation is not about the people. It's about itself. You need to stop losing sleep over what this corporation chooses to do. And have they being in a position, have they chose to do anything for Black America? No. But they do care a hell of a lot about aborting Black babies.
At 1:41 today, this office received an order of extradition for a New York doctor, an abortion provider who lives upstate. In the state of New York, at my direction, we have put in place strict shield laws that anticipate this very situation, that in the aftermath of the overturning of Roe v. Wade, the established law for 49 years that gave women rights that my mother's generation had to fight for, that my generation took for granted, that are no longer there for my daughter's generation. After 49 years of having the established law of the nation overturned by this Supreme Court, we knew that in the state of New York that we had providers who could be vulnerable. Louisiana has changed their laws, but that has no bearing on the laws here in the state of New York. Doctors take an oath to protect their patients. I took an oath of office to protect all New Yorkers, and I will uphold not only our Constitution, but the laws of our land.
And then Trump's new DOJ responded.
We're here today because we have filed charges against the state of New York. We have filed charges against Kathy Hochul. We have filed charges against Letitia James and Mark Schroeder, who is with DMV. This is a new DOJ, and we are taking steps to protect Americans, American citizens, and angel moms, like the mom standing right behind me, who you're going to hear from in a moment. New York has chosen to prioritize illegal aliens over American citizens. It stops today.
That's just one of the things that America has rejected. But another thing that they has rejected is the mutilation of the genitals of the young by way of using laws and forcing ideals on certain people that they didn't want. And by the way, for everybody who didn't understand, when there's a cultural divide, that doesn't make your issues our issues. And so you can clearly understand that this, when you hear this,
it's a cultural divide. I'm going to get it on the floor. You really got to do it. 40 acres in the mule. This is bigger than the music.
That only concerns one group. And most definitely does not represent this here.
The city to protect me because the federal government won't. And if you think you're afraid of Trump, you should see how afraid of Trump I am.
Can you wrap up, please?
Yes, I can. If If you say that you're afraid of Trump and that's why you don't want the city to be a safe space for trans people, you better prepare for trans people to make this a very unsafe space.
I'm shaking.
What'd you say? If you're not going to make the city a safe space for trans people, then they're going to make it a not safe space? Not that you had that ability to incite such fear into anybody, but see, that's, again, you get out there and you start trying to act like us. They know you ain't. Y'all not coming with the same power and energy that this is. And, you know, they know can't mess with the Lord's folks over here. And let's just be clear, y'all. Y'all are not rocking with the Most High over there. So let's be clear. You serve the other.
Right now. I don't want to be here. Up, I'm sorry. Am I taking too long pleading for my life?
You remembered how many...
Pleading for your life. You're already transitioning and you look grown. So there's nothing about what you're doing. Nobody's impeding your life. See, this is the thing. This is now this is victimhood and this is narcissism as well. Because they go to the extreme oh man, you said you didn't want this. The people don't want this, and then you're still looking at it as a Trump thing. No, millions of people. And if you take the people that stayed home and the people that voted for Donald Trump, that's a lot of people. And obviously they not feeling what you're talking about.
Children I have and that 2 of them are trans.
I speak as both the B and the T in the LGBT.
I'm multiply disabled. I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which is a connective tissue disorder that causes me immense physical pain. I'm on the autism spectrum, and I have narcolepsy, and I couldn't drive myself here, so I had to hide from my driver that I was in drag, which is not an easy thing to do in drag.
I do not want to be here. It's my day off. I do not want to be in your DM.
This is really confusing. This one here is really confusing. And no offense. But ma'am, sir, ma'am, or sir, or they or them. If you are going for the manly look, that beard needs to be grown in, not penciled or that looks like you went to a Chicago barber and said, hey, give me that thing that the black guys get, you know, when they're thinning and going bald. Yeah, give me that. I'll do that right there because white guys don't do this. She up here look, or they are up here looking like Color Me Bad, like this is finna be a Color Me Bad, like for Halloween or something. You know what I mean? Like, ooh, I don't want to be here right now. Ooh. Oh.
I do not want to be in your email inboxes. I do not want my creativity writing diss tracks like Kendrick. I don't want to.
Why on earth did she bring up Kendrick? Again, like I said, cultural divide, baby.
It's a cultural divide. I'm going to get it on the floor. You really got to do it. 40 acres in the mule. This is bigger than the music.
Yes, baby, because it's a cultural thing. And if you're part of that lineage that is owed that 40 acres and a mule, and you not part of that culture, then that simply tell you not like us. No need to invoke any foundational Black American energy into your plight, because you know that's an interesting thing. But here again, fam, I'm playing this just to let you hear all the. Have you heard anybody other than a reference to Kendrick? They're only talking about their issue. They're not bringing anyone else along.
To spend an hour applying glitter on my face so that you will hear and see me. I want you to listen to me.
Let us remember that the Nazis burned the books that the Nazis burned books on gender science.
Okay. Who gave these people their talking points that they're reading it all off their phones? I mean, this, I guess, for all intents and purposes, this is the Democrats' version of the what's that society, the people that push out Diane Yap, the Manhattan Society. This is the type of things they do. They have these hearings and whatnot, and they fund the people with these handwritten speeches. And so they're on their phones. Okay, and so, you know, let's remember when Hitler did this in 19. It's like, come on, man.
This is first. Now the administration has villainized and marginalized migrant workers, trans, LGBT people, and
now see what he's doing right now. You see what he's doing right now. He's going through the groups that whoever is sending these people up here to do, that he's covering who they want to cover. Let's hear who the whoever is paying for this. Let's hear what they want actually further.
This is first. Now the administration has villainized and marginalized migrant workers, trans, LGBT people, and even special needs, denying life-saving and affirming care.
Can you look at me and tell me how many of my friends need to die before you do anything?
Please wrap up.
Look at me.
Okay, we're all done here.
You're talking about unhinged. Nothing's wrong with you, kid. Nobody's threatening you. Your life is not threatened. Calm down. There's more important things going on in life, to be quite honest. And since you're not part of the recreating or the procreating crowd, there's really your future is in front of you, and there's no legacy behind you. Why don't you allow those people who have legacies behind them to protect it? Go live your lives. Why are you in here crying and screaming on these people? What about what they're going to do is going to affect your life? What they're doing might affect their children's lives. So it makes total sense that they would do that. Why are you? Or are you here to make a spectacle of yourself and to be seen and to overhype no one giving a crap about forcing your agenda down everybody's throats? That has ran its course, and now you guys got to figure out to do something based on yourselves, not based on somebody in a machine pushing an agenda like we've already said. See, do you understand what they're doing? They're flaming out because the Democrats have basically left their hot potato and they dropped it. And now all these people are like, where is everybody? What's happened? Well, I just want to tell y'all for a fact. Hey, this is the evidence of them pushing what we were telling you that they were pushing was really an agenda. And here's the proof now. You didn't want to hear it then, but there's the other truth that you guys are going to have to live with, and hopefully you guys start understanding, accepting, and ingesting. The grassroots and the voices of new black media got it right, and we got it right early. And now, the talk of the town is foundational Black Americans.
Fucking pathetic.
Well done. Come on.
Of course, we need to continue celebrating Black History Month because in spite of what's coming down from Washington, we all know that we all exist and we all need to be recognized for our existence.
But be aware that you are a guest in my house when you come. And when you come, know that there are strong, queer and trans people in my classroom who will collect you with the quickness.
My name in drag is Dee Dee Delight. And my
Okay, so the one woman mentions honoring Black History Month. All the rest of these people are only making a spectacle about themselves. Notice, once again, Black History Month, focusing on themselves, not an ally to foundational Black Americans, but an enemy. Why? Because you're coming here to shift the energy once again about yourselves.
name out of drag is Dewey Cosgrove-Atienza.
Laddie LaRouge, he, they, in drag, District 3.
My legal name is Olivia D'Ambrosio. My public name is Livy Scanlon. My wife and I own...
He, they, the partner with the drawn-on beard, he, they, and where do they call? See, this is the thing for me. When you kind of get into these conversations, and again, you could be what you want to be, but as a man, that's why I think this works way more for women, because they're way more accepting of that. And again, I say, I understand what a trans man would be. And we ain't the same. You ain't finna sit up here and say a trans man is a man. Hell no. Ain't like this at all. And the true clear fact is that you're still a woman. To that regard, I mean, because you still have to deal with a man on that. And so I don't know. I don't see how this works as well. Unless you just wanted to be the aggressive person in a relationship with a woman. But to that regard, for most men are just going to see you as a lesbian with a weird looking something that you will call a penis. And that's, for those who have seen how those surgeries look, I don't know why anybody would want that. But, that's, you love who you love. I'm just saying, where are we going to be hanging out at? So this is a weird space. I would say the he, him thing, I guess. And that's what, that's one of them things like, yeah, okay, yeah, that's what you want to be called. I don't understand that, but and I think for a lot of people, that's where the big pushback is. You could be what you want to be. I think when they introduced pronouns, because that was one of them things that started pushing the idea of, see, tolerance and acceptance are not the same. And it's all, remember, when we were younger, it was about tolerance. Now it's about acceptance. Why? How do you know the difference? Because tolerance was, this is what this person is, and they deserve to be loved and respected. Now it's accepted. Let me push this agenda on your children. Big difference.
Please, I only have so much time. Please, Joe's going to cut me off.
Which matters more? Covering the legal fees of systemic police brutality or protecting the lives of queer people in our community? How many lives have to be lost before you consider fighting back against fascism and corruption? Now is the time to say that if federal money...
That was an interesting take. So you think that the police... So monies for families, victims, or the people harmed by the police should not go to them and instead go to aiding sex-altering surgery. Black family, again, black Democrat voted. You 92%. You 77% of black men. This is what you wanted us to vote for? What he just said, or she, I'm sure he's going by she, what they just said was extremely anti-black. Basically, damn George Floyd, that money should be going to us to get our sex changes. And we're supposed to be down with that. What's wrong with you? This is an agenda that they're telling you is not for you. And a matter of fact, has a resounding sound of jealousy. This should be rejected.
It relies on the dehumanization of trans people that we don't want your goddamn money.
I get that some of you care more about easy funding than trans lives and don't mind Nazis for some whatever reason, but
what?
Normally I would say good evening, but through the chair I will only impart my sour grapes.
It's an extremely emotional and taxing thing to stand up here as someone as part of the trans and gender diverse community.
My name is Katie.
I just want to go ahead and hip y'all to something that you are starting to, if you're picking up on some of the low-key messaging here, I'm sure they're going to be picking up very soon here. And these people are they're going to be going full-blown anti-reparations. Okay? They're going to be, what about us? Because that's what this is. This is happening in Black History Month. And all of this is it's all about them. And only the one person comes out and says, well, we still need to honor Black History Month. But look at the attitude of the rest of them. Why would it be necessary for her to even say that? That's because that's the sentiment that they are coming with. I just hope you guys are catching this.
I'm from District 5, and I'm speaking in support of agenda items 10B and 14B. Right now in our country, Trump is threatening the trans and gender diverse community.
Noticing people here are trying to control the rights of others, and that's not right. We should make Worcester a sanctuary city for trans people. Everybody deserves to feel safe, and everybody needs to feel safe. I've lived here for 4 years, and there hasn't really been any changes in how people feel safe in the city. My birthday is this Saturday, and all I want is peace and for you to vote yes. Please don't let me down for my birthday. There's a lot of queer people that I love, and to Candy Carlson, you should know to never call someone I'm 7, and I know better. The kids are watching, and we're ready to vote you out.
Oh my gosh.
And this is my problem with these folks. They always act like it's not they're not stepping out to be disrespectful to foundational Black Americans. But here it is, Black History Month, and here they are celebrating or showboating or highlighting for themselves. Only one person comes out with the wherewithal to say, yeah, we probably need to be honoring because, yeah, we see you. Yeah, we see it. Yeah, we got you. We got you. And add insult to injury, you got idiots and morons coming out here talking all kind of stupid. Like John Leguizamo. See, here's another, this is just another example of tethers trying to get in our mix because why?
It's a cultural divide. I'm going to get it on the floor. You really got to do it? 40 acres in the mule. This is bigger than the music.
Yep, again, that ain't got nothing to do with you, John Leguizamo, but go off anyway.
So now with the new Florida law that police officers can arrest anyone who they think is an undocumented immigrant, they're not targeting criminals who are undocumented. They are just attacking Native Americans, indigenous Latinos who profile to them as undocumented. So it's not really... It was never really about getting criminals. I was just about getting Latin immigrants who are undocumented out of the country. And now they're going to send them to Guantanamo Bay, which will be our first concentration camp set up by America. The Fourth Reich is taking over, y'all. We got to stand up, fight against this, speak out. Even if you voted for Trump and now you regret your vote, this is the time to act out and make up for your transgression.
Well, you know, nobody cares. And you're not a Mexican or a Puerto Rican, John Leguizamo. So why don't you just go be a white Latino wherever you need to go be that at? And, you know, stop acting like you matter, because no one gives a crap about what you're saying. And absolutely no, Mexicans did not create crip walking, nor did they create bee walking for that matter. That sounds absolutely ludicrous. And it was very stupid of you to say, fellow. But whatever. At the same time, I'm just waiting for. See, this is where John Leguizamo was trying to get to, but you know his Caribbean counterpart Tethers beat him to the punch, and so you hear now that all of a sudden, Ayanna Presley, Miss I can't say the word black, and I am never going to speak for the black community, has something now to say about reparations.
All right, good afternoon, and thank you, everyone, for braving the inclement weather as we gather to take an essential step forward in the long and ongoing fight for justice, accountability, and healing for Black America. Today, I'm deeply honored to reintroduce H.R. 40, historic legislation to establish a federal commission to examine the lasting legacy of slavery, to develop reparations proposals for descendants of enslaved Africans. It is an honor to inherit the privilege of carrying this bill forward.
Enslaved Africans?
From Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee. In my last correspondence with her, she said, keep working on our priorities and never give.
Family. Do y'all believe that? Do y'all believe that? I do not. I believe this is another clip of her speaking on the same thing. Here.
We can legislate justice.
Amen.
We can legislate healing. And we're certainly long overdue. And for those that would say we need to just get over it, that's interesting. When as a nation you are benefiting right now from an economy that was built on the brutalized backs and the indignities and the horrors of chattel slavery and our African ancestors.
What African ancestors is she referring to? See how she has to keep referring to Africans? Yeah, well, this ain't about Africans. They ain't got nothing to do with Africa. Africa had a part in the slavery. I don't know what you're talking about. We're over here, and this is the only concern about reparations. The descendants of our ancestors. Who are these descendants? Where are the descendants of those Africans you're referring to? Back in their homeland? What they got to do with us? Let's hear a little more from that farce.
Our government, no matter who is in power, has an obligation to right these wrongs, to provide reparations for descendants of enslaved Africans, to eliminate the racial wealth gap, to uplift the Black community. White supremacy is rampant in this country. Just look at the current administration and our own legislative body. They have contributed to the social and economic harms, to racial terror Black folks have experienced in this country. Now, more than ever, we must acknowledge and repair those harms.
And yeah, enslaved Africans, not gonna work. That's just not gonna work. If that's what you're gonna try to do, then no. And I think for all intents and purposes, we all know that that's a farce. I mean, come on. We're Ayanna Presley. If you're gonna tell me you believe that she's on the level, are you out of your mind, man? No. No, not so. And so look at all of these other people. This is what it looks like when you have to sit up here and hijack the movement, because it's all about foundational Black Americans. So even on Sunday, you got this tether up here hopping up there with a Palestinian flag. He should have got packed out. He most definitely should have got packed out. I think he's been banned for life from over there or whatever. You got the Palestinian and Ghanaian flag together, which makes no sense. And look at this dummy. Where is security? Like this dude. Oh, yeah, okay. See, security's finally starting to show up and get on him, and now they got him. Yeah, drag his ass. Now, he really should have got packed out, to be quite honest. Because he needed to be aggressively handled, because that was dangerous for Brother Kendrick Lamar to have this weirdo running on the field. Ain't no telling what he doing. He could have had a bomb or anything like that. Matter of fact, security should have been tighter, because on top of that, the president is in the building. So how is anybody getting out there with the president being in there? And they're saying, we're going to do it because of the president. Y'all remember the dude that tried to run on a stage with Dave Chappelle? What happened to him? He got packed the hell out, which is what should have happened to this guy. But it's always some weird tether coming over here trying to dilute the energy from what happens. And, with Damon Wayans, I don't know what Damon Wayans' point was with saying what he said about the halftime show. I know, for one, you can kind of take it as, number one, they always tend to do that type of thing. But again, if he's trying to make a point about people who are explaining the deeper nature or the hidden symbolism of Kendrick Lamar's halftime show, it's funny when I hear people now saying things like this, and, oh, you're trying to sound so deep and all of this. Have you guys not paid attention to any of these things that you watch religiously? You watch these award shows, you watch these halftime shows and opening events for the Olympics, closing events for the Olympics, and for some reason, when it comes down to actually a message done in the same manner that's just specifically about Black folks, all of a sudden it's brand new to you. Like, wow, what's with the hidden messages? Well, hell, I guess next time you see some of these major artists at these award shows, why don't you ask them, why don't they just come out and say, all hail Satan? I don't see any of you guys rushing out there. Why aren't you guys over here on praising the Baphomet on stage? I don't see anybody running out saying they should be doing that. But when it's a Black person with Black messages, why aren't you just coming out and screaming to the top of your voice what the message is? Why can't the message be delivered in the same manner that everything else is on that medium, but now it's done in a manner that it's only about one particular group?
It's a cultural divide. I'm going to get it on the floor. 40 acres in the mule. This is bigger than the music.
Let me hear what this woman has to say.
Kendrick Lamar turned everybody against Drake by doing two things. By calling him a pedo and calling him a colonizer. Nobody wants to be caught dead defending a pedophile. Even if it's not true and they don't have anything to justify those claims, people rather be safe than sorry than be caught dead aligning themselves with a pedophile. If that wasn't enough, he called Drake a colonizer and aligned himself with the culture. Now everybody Black has to be on Kendrick Lamar's side because nobody wants to be ousted from the culture. Now you look like you're against the movement if you side with Drake. Nobody wants to be caught dead being a white supremacist sympathizer. That's like Black 101. I was having a conversation with a mixed race boy. He was like, yeah, Drake's a fucking colonizer. He not like us. I'm looking at a motherfucker that literally looks Chinese. He's like, yeah, they not like us. I'm like, you realize that could apply to you, right? He's like, yeah, but my mom's Black. My mom's Black. I'm like, but you're not Black presenting. Only made sense in his mind to side with the monoracially Black person, because if he didn't, his Blackness would be up for questioning. And I think that's crazy. Not only did Kendrick Lamar use Drake as a way to be divisive against biracial people, he also used it as a way to question fully black people's loyalty to our progression if we didn't side with him. That's a crazy, wicked move. Logistically, everybody has to side with him with those odds. Had Kendrick not used those two strategies to rap battle against Drake, it might not have turned out this way. I can't say definitively that he would have won that rap beef. All of you literature majors and buffs, this is an ad hominem fallacy. Question someone's character and identity in your argument in order to get people to support your claims. I don't fuck with that. I'm not gonna lie, I don't fuck with that. We are out here fighting amongst each other and we telling other black people that we not for the cause because we didn't agree with Kendrick? That's crazy. Kendrick's supposed to be pro-black this, and bringing black people together. So why is he using a rap beef against Drake to be divisive against both fully black people and monoracial people as if he don't have a mixed race baby mom?
Oh, geez. Some of these tethers can be just so damn stupid. And they look at what she did. She jumps over the fact that Drake is not an American. And what's the cultural divide here?
It's a cultural divide. I'm going to get it on the floor. You really about to do it? 40 acres in the mule. This is bigger than the music.
So I should have properly given her theme music. So let me do that now. Okay, so let me address one thing. It's not about Kendrick being mixed. He's a colonizer because he's from a different country coming to America to get his American culture on, American black culture. That's being a culture vulture. See, there was somebody that actually said something about Cardi B earlier. Oh, a matter of fact, it's this one. And I'll play that next. And what she says is we don't look at Cardi B as a culture vulture. Yep, we do. Yes, and not only that, she's looked at in the same boat as Fat Joe. It is you, other immigrants that co-sign her. See, here's the thing that you're not understanding. It's not about black and white. It's about foundational black American freedmen, and all of you immigrants have your own thing going on. What you keep trying to do is skip over our lineage part, and you're trying to make it about a black and mixed and biracial. That has nothing to do with no conversation. Ain't nobody talk about no mixed people. There's a matter of fact, there is no mix. There's no conversation about anybody being mixed other than coming from tethers. Because that's not, we understand as foundational black American, that's not the conversation. That's not even the point of what he's saying. So it's interesting that she says the divide and conquer. Maybe she got that from Boyce Watkins. Because Boyce Watkins posted some silly shit like that. He said that basically the same thing, that the industry used Kendrick to go against Lamar to cause some kind of divide. Man, that's not how hip hop battles work. Ain't nobody died and everybody made money. I don't understand what the hell he was talking about, other than that was kind of coonish. But to even look at the fact that you got these outsiders complaining, you got some of the folks from the inside not understanding. And I'll tell you why you don't understand. It's because you are of the people who still believe Kamala Harris is black. You haven't woken up that the Democrats have lied to you all this time. And you haven't woken up that some of you may be playing roles that everybody else can see. Maybe it's just you that's getting played. Now, let me go back to this particular woman here who is now going to throw another straw man argument out in Cardi B. But I guess she forgot how Fat Joe just got did. So I guess see why it's so easy. She conveniently uses Cardi B and not Fat Joe when saying Well, let's just hear what she has to say. But this is, well, she thinks she's clever, but she's not. And again, this is all about this cultural divide.
And I'm telling y'all right now, I will never forgive y'all for calling Drake a colonizer and a culture vulture when y'all let Cardi B call y'all a nigga for 7 years straight. 7 years straight. Cardi B called y'all a nigga in every goddamn song, and she don't have not one black parent. Not one black parent do Cardi B have. She called y'all a nigga for 7 years straight. Not only did she call y'all niggas, she culture vultured her way all the way through Atlanta and New York. And y'all didn't give a fuck. This bitch never wrote one motherfucking song. She never did shit for the motherfucking culture or the motherfucking community. But she's not a culture vulture? She's not a colonizer? What? Cause she's Spanish? Oh. Y'all let the machine, the corporate giants, and the labels put a non-black woman against a black woman that's always done something for hip-hop so y'all could prop up a fucking Spanish girl in hip-hop? So she could call y'all niggas? So she could perpetrate the black woman as ghetto and ratchet and a whore? Look what she's done to music. Look what her influence has done to black hip-hop for women. But Drake is a colonizer and a culture vulture. Y'all are fucking cooked.
He's telling us something else, ain't that? Okay. Nobody has accepted Cardi B as being black. And all of that presenting black women a certain way to the culture comes from immigrants. Your people, man. See, you keep trying to, this is the epitome of trying to dump trash on foundational black America. Everybody she's complaining about has way more in common. None of them have the same thing in common that Kendrick has with us, though. Y'all peep that? And so what they're trying to do is trying to talk around the fact that they understand what this means.
It's a cultural divide. I'm going to get it on the flow. You really about to do it? 40 acres in the mule. This is bigger than the music.
They understand that fully. You understand me? And so the other things that you have to realize that they are having issues with is that it's about black folks, black love, black America, no one else. And they always sit up here and say, oh, DEI, DEI, DEI this, DEI that. Okay. Well, here's a situation where it's not DEI. It's just black people. And when you have black people, now you got white folks saying, hey, why didn't you have any diversity, equity, and inclusion?
Dear fellow Americans, just my quick little rant on this halftime nonsense. I mean, come on, stop with the ghetto crap. I'm done with the ghetto. I've had it up to here with ghetto. I know they want to say rap is this and rap is the streets and rap is the current and rap is the that. Look at jazz. The jump black and jazz blues artists.
That was ghetto too.
Give me the Count Basie band. Give me Duke Ellington's.
That was jungle
band.
music.
Give me the history. Give me jazz. You want to go black? Go art. Don't go ghetto. Let's lift the streets. Let's lift these kids off the streets. Enough with the garbage. Enough with the garbage. Enough with bringing these kids down into the garbage. Like that's the cool thing to do and this and that. No, those gentlemen that created an art form, a gorgeous art form, those jazz artists, let's propagate that in America. Enough with this bullshit. Who in the NFL hired this act? And Sam Jackson.
Hey, dickhead. You do know the majority of those guys you were talking about were staunch heroin addicts, right? Genius, womanizer. Some of those guys weren't very cool to their spouses. Idiot. That's not taking away from any of their musical contributions. But you're over here talking about, hey, we got to lift the culture. They were doing the music of their time that would have been racy. What you are having an issue with, though, is this is black culture. And Black culture has the right and the liberty to evolve as the community evolves. If you want some 1942 jazz, well, then hop in your time machine and take your punk ass back to 1942. That's what you could do. Let's stop this ghetto crap. Number one, you're talking about Kendrick Lamar, the backpack rapper. There's nothing ghetto about backpack rappers. People who are on his level, he's a Grammy Award winner, and he has multiple Grammys. His count and his accomplishments far outweigh a lot of the other people that you would try to compare to be like him. Number one, Drake. Drake doesn't even compare. So when people like Drake Drake doesn't have what he got. Kendrick Lamar is sitting on the top of the heap by himself. And it may suck for people to hear that, but that's the truth. And it's not because the industry put him up there or anything like that. People rock with him. And when you have your hometown and your home coast, then people gonna rock with that. Simple as that. But these people come out here acting like we ain't supposed to be rocking with each other. And I'll tell y'all out your damn minds. This is the West Coast, and this is how it is. Like it or love it. Or don't. We don't care.
Monkeying around. I mean, I'm sorry. It just repulsed me.
Monkeying around.
What was the point? What's the point? Let's lift the kids. Let's give them something to aspire to, talent to aspire to. Let's train them in instruments and jazz and stop this rap crap that everybody thinks is the new Shakespeare. It's not. It's garbage. It's not lifted.
Hip Hop 50. It just celebrated 50 years, you dimwit. 50 years. And he's talking about, everybody's talking about it's new. Let me get this asshole off my screen. I've heard enough of him. So, that's the guy with the bad skin from the 80s. He must have had some late electrolysis going on here to clear up that skin. But anyway, for him and all those other white right-wingers that had a problem with it, all this ghetto crap, you didn't even listen to nothing that was going on or investigate the music. And then you have a problem with Sam Jackson. Oh, and Sam Jackson, man, we need to go ahead and uplift the kids. You don't care about our community. Shut your punk ass up. And you're so out of touch with our community. You don't understand. Number one, you understand so-called black crime has been down ever since 2020. Black recidivism across the United States has been down since 2020. You know who's out here drilling everybody? That's immigrants. And as soon as you started delineating, separating these other people, you started seeing for a fact. When you go to foundational Black American criminals, there's not that many. And crime is way down. So don't talk about our children. Talk about these illegals who are coming in here. So like that other woman who's talking about, they're dividing in this. No, what we are doing is allowing you to hold your dirt. And so for you, my absolutely unimportant friend, you came out here, let me say something now. Has anybody even put you in a movie here recently, dude? Nobody's even checking for you. I think your son might not even be working right now. So I guess go ahead and live off those residual checks and keep your mouth off of us. Because at the end of the day, ain't you in LA? So all of this ghetto crap, don't you have to go through that ghetto? And that ghetto helped you make who you are today? See, this is what guys like, because, there was movie theaters in those ghettos, right? So you made money from the ghetto. So let's not get this ghetto crap. And what movies were you in where you played a positive person, dude? But at the end of the day, this is what they meant.
It's a cultural divide. I'm going to get it on the flow. You really about to do it? 40 acres in the mule. This is bigger than the music.
Because, see, realistically, people like him, he prefers the ghetto gagger types, like this piece of crap. She hates herself so much that she'll actually put this on line. Now, mind you, she's African, so she actually should have been talking about Africans. She trying to make it about black people because she hates black people. She hates black people because, well, I don't know. That's her own personal demon, obviously. And, you know, it is what it is. Let her have her little problem, and at the end of the day, know that foundational black Americans don't care. Hate yourself. We've already known you hate yourself, but you're not foundational black American. You are an African, and you hated being melanated because, and that just tells me that you actually never identified as yourself. So you still don't even accept the fact that you're an African. You are a Hamite, not to be confused with a Shemite. Oh, but no, I'm black. So with that being said, family, Babylon is falling. Babylon is falling. Let it fall and let us rise. Can you dig it? And understand, they really want us to fall for the okie doke because we have delineated. But delineation is something we are standing on. We are standing on that business 10 toes down, and we ain't changing for nobody. And I suggest none of you change for anybody as well. So for all of these illegals that need to leave, we say happily, hashtag fire up the jets.
Happy birthday, we're celebrating you today. Like Dr. King holiday, we ain't gonna do any work today. Happy birthday today. It's your beautiful day, and we gonna party all day like it's a freaking holiday.
And so with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we gonna have to look at the simple facts that we got people around us that don't understand. And if they don't understand, that's fine. They can learn the hard way. But they are not like us. They are not like us. And they are absolutely upset, mad, and angry. But what can we do for them other than nothing? Sit there and steep in your anger and in your frustration and know that there is not going to be really much that you can do or say when it comes down to foundational black Americans and what we represent and what we stand for. Period. And always remember this.
It's a cultural divide. I'm going to get it on the floor. You really about to do it? 40 acres in the mule. This is bigger than the music.
And if that's too much for you to understand, well, then I speak for myself. beatzillapdxofficial. The beatzillapdxofficial show. Those of you in the chat, the voices are the grassroots and the voices of new black media. I think it's safe to say, I speak for all parties involved when we proudly dedicate this song to
Get up off of that cocaine and get up off of that crack. Get yourself together and get your mind back.
Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. And always remember, hashtag hands off our reparations.
You have no rights here. We're not under the empire.
Yes, indeed. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all for tuning in once again to the beatzillapdx official show. This has been the weekly wrap up. And y'all can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at beatzillapdx. You can email me at ourrealtruth@gmail.com. If you feel so inclined to put some money in the bucket by way of donation, you could do so at CashApp, $beatzillapdx. It's CashApp, $beatzillapdx. And we got PayPal, which is Zilla Muzak. That is ZILLAMUZAK at PayPal. And with that being said, we have to shout out our members. Cannot leave out of here without doing that because I did last week. I forgot. So, with that being said, Rhonda Smith in the house. Rhonda Smith, Rosalind, Lady E, Barbara Banks, Breeze Omega, Sybil. I am Kiera, the Church of Black Power. We Next, aka Dark Skinned Brother. What is this thing? This is crazy. Troy Lee. Why is this thing acting? I'm trying to pull my cursor down and it's acting a fool. I don't know what's happening. Come on. Troy Lee, Jim's Eye View. I don't know what's going on with my screen. I'm trying to look at you guys' names and it won't let me do it. Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening right here. Okay. Yeah, this is crazy. Okay, let me see if I can do this. Hold on. Let me just use something. Let me just do something else and see if this works because this is not working. So hold on. Okay, now here we go. Let me do this from the top one more time. We have Rhonda Smith. We have Rosalind, Lady E, Barbara Banks, Breeze Omega, Black Voltron Reloaded, Sybil, I am Kiera, the Church of Black Power. We Next, aka Dark Skinned Brother, Troy Lee, Jim's Eye View, Solo Dolo, Koopa High, Lemonade, Brian Blissett, Truth Seeker 2020, The Truth Ali, Quasi Black Star, AI Matrix, Eric Adams, and No Bad News, and Tasha Peters, Samuel Logan, and GD, Sonia Celebrity Lookalike, Tanya Zion, Kerman Wingfield, Anya Moore, Deneen Soul, Dark Skinned Brother, and Golmac, and Crew Reality Grand Niggas, or FBA, or you changed it up, and Simply Sandra, Cult-like Personality, Antithesis, Judah Yisrael, Key Prince, Faith Speaks Life, and Black Spider. Salute to each and every one of you. Thank you for being members. I appreciate your support. Thank you so much. And yes, indeed. So that is about it. So we are ready to go. We are ready to wrap it on up. And get on out of here. You know, let me see something. Actually, I'll make it separate. Real quick though. Let me show you this picture. This is something that actually got posted today, which of course I'm taping this broadcast on Friday. So this might be your Valentine's Day. But this is a picture that Barack Obama and Michelle Obama posted earlier today, showing you them together for Valentine's Day. Wishing you guys a happy Valentine's Day. The picture kind of looks like, it gives me the vibe that they haven't really been in each other's presence all that long in a while. But maybe I'm wrong, or maybe I'm just misreading. Who knows? But if you guys are having had, I guess by the time you were watching this, if you had a good Valentine's Day, if you guys celebrate that, congrats. And for those who are, today might be your day for some of y'all. So, you know, today might, it's the 15th by the time you were watching this. So today might be your date night. So salute to y'all. And again, if you were on the West Coast or the Pacific Northwest, drive safe, drive careful, and stay warm. Because this little freeze is, we're coming on out of it, but, it's still slick and ice out there, and we'll still have another morning full of ice. So be careful on Saturday morning, y'all. Or Sunday morning. So yeah, you guys, it should be gone by the time y'all hearing this. So, but nonetheless, thank everybody for tuning in. Make sure you hit thumbs up on this broadcast. And until next time, family, stay black, stay vigilant, stay alive. So, but also, remember, keep your 3 smooth stones at the ready and your slingshot nearby. Black first, black first, black first. Shalom, y'all. Y'all have a blessed weekend.
When you know who Satan is, yes, sir, you don't have to kill him. No. The stone of truth. Yeah. See, that's what you throw. Yes, right. Allah says, had we wished to take a pastime from before, surely we would have done it. Nay, we cast truth at falsehood till we knock out its brains. Every one of you that knows the truth, stand up and tell it from the mountaintop. Black people can't take it no more. So wherever you are on the job, in the factory, I don't care where you are. If you know the truth, stand up on the truth and tell Satan, who the hell are you to try and pick my friends? Farrakhan is God's man, and you are from the enemy of God. So to hell with you. Stand up on it like a man.
Moorish.